Why in America coming out isn't just personal anymore. It's a press conference. Like podium, lighting, apology tour, exclusive interview. I just want to live my truth. Okay. But why is CNN there? And it got me to thinking. Not about who's actually gay, but about who identifies, about how identity gets marketed in this country. Because online people speculate. They speculate about celebrities, athletes, rappers. They speculate about everybody. I'm not saying anything's true or false. I'm just saying speculation exists and speculation gets clicks. There's this idea floating around America, that certain labels come with insulation, not immunity insulation, a cushion. Mess up, struggle publicly, fall off your game. Suddenly, the story isn't about performance anymore. It's about pressure, identity, fear of being misunderstood. And I asked myself honestly, if someone offered me $100 million to play a version of myself that wasn't real, could I do it? It depends on the version. Because if it's that other version that you're talking about, playing a role is one thing. Coming out of the closet, telling America and the world is a whole nother thing. So my answer is no. Because once you announce something like that, you don't get to clock out. There's no just kidding. There's no just kidding. No, there's no off season. There's no quiet walk back. You don't get spotted on a yacht a year later and say, relax, y'all. That was just branding. America doesn't let you rebrand that fast, which is why I think a lot of people don't understand the difference between being something and performing something. Performance is temporary. Identity sticks. And that's where the tension lives. Not in sexuality, but in the marketplace. Because this country will sell anything if it trends, including you. And once the algorithm buys you, it expects its deliveries every time. Now let's talk about the church. Specifically the black church, of course, because for decades, not years, decades, church money was straight cash. No checks, no paper trail, no apps, no tap to give, just a collection plate and trust. Now pause right there for a minute. Can you imagine how much money moved through the churches when everything was cash? Not just good churches, not just bad churches, but all the churches. And I'm not saying every church was crooked. I'm saying the system was perfectly designed to be untraceable. Cash doesn't ask questions. Cash doesn't audit itself. Cash doesn't leave receipts. You pass the plate, you count it in the back. You report whatever number you feel like reporting. And historically, especially in black communities, who gave the most consistently? I'll wait. Black women, week after week, rain or shine, rent late, lights almost off, still tithing. Meanwhile, the pastor got on a new suit, in a new car, going home to a new house, blessed and highly favored. And people get uncomfortable when you say this, but it's a fair question. How much wealth was built on faith versus accountability? There's an old quote that's been attributed to an old pope, the fifth pope, depending on who you ask. Different versions exist, but the line goes something like, Christianity is the greatest business ever created. Now, whether that quote is exact or not almost doesn't even matter, because the business model speaks for itself. Weekly revenue, tax exemption, lifetime customers, fear of God baked into the contract. And again, I'm not saying faith is fake. I'm saying money changes everything it touches. Fast forward to now, ATMs in the church lobbies, QR codes on the pews, Zelle, Cash App, Apple Pay. God accepts all major credit cards. And then you get moments like this. Pastor Jamal Bryant's wife shows up in a dress. Looks like he lost a fight with gravity. And the internet explodes. Pastors yelling at other pastors, church folks fighting online. And somebody says the wildest line I've ever heard all year. If the first lady of your church has a BBL, find you a new church immediately. Immediately. Now listen, that's funny. But it also exposes something real. Because at some point, people stop asking, is the message right? And start asking, why does this look like a lifestyle brand to me? The church used to sell salvation. Now it sells access. Access to the pastor, access to influence, access to proximity to God, allegedly. And when faith becomes a product, somebody is always paying more than they should. So the question isn't, is the church evil? That's just lazy. The real question is, when belief, money, and power sit in the same room, who is really being saved? There was a term that popped up years ago. I think it faded out. Metrosexual. A clean-cut guy who takes care of himself, not because he's gay, not because he's soft, but because he wants to look good. Now, here's the crazy part. Some people treat that like it's a crime. Clip your nails, you're too feminine. Get a haircut, you got a barber appointment. Somehow, that's suspicious. trim your nose hair, get a fresh beard line, use some lotion. Oh, he's metrosexual. He's soft. He's not a man. And I'm like, what happened to taking pride in your appearance? For centuries, men were told to be rugged, stoic, silent, chewing tobacco, and working with their hands, of course. There was this old idea that any attention to personal care equaled unmanly. That's a cultural script that's still running in people's heads to today. Taking care of yourself doesn't make you gay. It makes you presentable. There are plenty of guys out here who are tough as nails. They get up early, they work, they handle business, and they clip their nails. They moisturize, they pick out clothes that fit. They care about how they look. That's not a sign of sexuality. That's a sign of self-investment. Think about it. A guy could be the hardest worker in the room, save lives, build houses, command respect. But the moment he picks up a razor and some cologne, suddenly he's being questioned. That's not logic. That's insecurity on display. And it's funny, too, because society used to lean on stereotypes like men are rugged. Men don't care about looks. Men don't ask for directions. Men don't use face cream. But now men are in skincare ads. Men are in fashion spreads. Men are influencers in grooming culture. And the same people who used to laugh at that are the same people who are now acting like it's controversial. Let me tell you what's really going on. Confidence attracts respect. Cleanliness does not reduce it. A man who takes care of himself is not trying to be anything other than a man who knows how to care about himself. And if you think that makes someone less masculine, then you're stuck in yesterday's definition of manhood. It's 2026, and self-care isn't a threat. It's just evolved standards. So if a man wants a haircut, trim his nails, wear a fresh scent with some stylish clothes, that doesn't redefine his masculinity. It expresses it. And that's something we need to stop arguing about. I've been touching grass lately, and I don't mean metaphorically. I mean literal grass, shoes off, feet in the dirt, trying to reboot my operating system because social media done fried everybody's nervous system. I've been talking to the trees too. Yeah, the trees. Before you judge me, just know this. I talked to the same tree for about 2 weeks straight. Same spot, same tree. Told the tree I loved it. Told it I appreciated it. Grabbed the branches a little bit, respectfully, of course. And every time I talked to it, the tree started swaying a little bit. Now, I know it was the wind, y'all, okay? But it felt like enthusiasm to me. Like, damn, finally somebody noticed me. Then I got into the water thing as well, talking to my water, thanking it for existing. Because think about it. Water don't got to be here. It's been holding us down every day, and we never even say thank you. They say if you take 2 glasses of water, you tell 1 glass you love it, speak positive affirmations into it, pour good energy into it. Then you take the other glass and ignore it like it's your ex. Put both in the freezer. When they freeze, they look totally different. One looks crystallized and formed like a sculpture inside the glass, looking like it got its life together. The other one looks stressed out like trauma ice. And before y'all say that's fake, let me ask you this. Why you talk crazy to yourself and feel worse, but hype yourself up and feel better? Exactly. Then I see people grounding now as well. Sun therapy, nature therapy. I saw a woman in California suntanning her genitals. I ain't even mad at it. Genitals don't get no love, and they sure as hell don't get no sun. No, they get love, right? Genitals don't get no sun. Genitals don't get no sun. They've been in the dark their whole entire life. Your nutsack never even seen the daylight. Your clitoris, witness protection. Everybody talking about vitamin D. Where you think the D supposed to go? Look. I ain't saying I'm a shaman or anything like that. I ain't saying I unlocked ancient secrets. I'm just saying I've been outside, y'all, talking to the trees, encouraging my water, letting the sun hit places society told me to hide. And mentally, I feel a lot better. So laugh if you want. But while y'all doom scrolling indoors, I'll be outside having conversations with nature like a sane person in an insane world. So laugh if you want, but while y'all doom scrolling indoors, I'll be outside having conversations with nature like a sane person in an insane world. All right, let's talk about megachurch pastors for a minute because this is one of those topics where people get uncomfortable real fast. And that's usually how you know you're standing on business. I saw Drewski's skit. Everybody laughing at it, of course, hanging from the ceiling in a suit, red bottoms on. I'm walking on the blood of Jesus. It was funny, but it was funny because it hit close to home. That joke only works because people have seen this energy before. Let's be honest. For a long time, especially in the black church, was a cash business. No paper trail, no receipts, just collection plates, envelopes, and trust. And I'm not saying every church is crooked, but I am saying the system made it real easy to be. You had generations of black women, grandmothers, aunties, single mothers, tithing faithfully, 10%, sometimes even more. Sometimes when the lights at home were about to get cut off. And what did that get them in return? Motivation, hope, and a pastor pulling up in a car worth more than the entire parking lot combined. Now, fast forward to today. You got preachers on live streams telling people to empty their bank accounts, not give what you can, not help the community, empty your account. That's not faith. That's pressure. Because if you're broke and desperate and someone tells you God is watching how much you give, that's not spiritual leadership. That's leverage.